welcome to the Marvel Power Hour. I am Duane, your host for this, and I'd like to introduce our guest this afternoon, which is Jason Redblood, and you've got Brandon. I forgot what your nickname was going to be again. Jason, what was his nickname again?
Brandy Butter.
Brandy Butter. I don't mind that. And the founder and the godfather of it all, Kiren.
I love that. We didn't even discuss that. That's brilliant.
So literally all this Marvel Power Hour is going to be is literally this first episode is just introduction, get what people think from the end of Endgame all the way up to what Marvel episodes, films and stuff like that going off now, that sort of thing. So it's literally just a rundown, see what people think, and then we'll take it from there. And in our future episodes, it'll be looking at other ones coming into the future, maybe looking at the games as well, and just working his way from that sort of thing. So I'll start it off and throw it to the room. First one we had after Endgame was WandaVision. What did people think about that?
Obviously to start off with, I was a little bit nervous. Obviously we had the pandemic and stuff like that, so it really couldn't have got that out there. Obviously with all the editing and filming and stuff like that. But I thought it was a really great start. I was a little bit iffy after the first two episodes. I didn't think that certain Marvel fans would have truly appreciated that. But it was original. The style was really cool. I liked the sitcom element. And, these two characters were both really interesting and it had a really great momentum moving into that finale, with obviously Evan Peters coming back, obviously the Agatha stuff as well. So I think it was a really positive show. It was a really great start to the Disney Plus era of Marvel shows.
Anybody else?
I didn't watch all of it. Didn't like the black and white stuff, really. But I got close to the end. I think I've got like 2 episodes left. Weren't too bad.
Was it because of that slow start? Because when I first watched it, when I first watched it, it was just because it's so just. I didn't know what to expect. You seen how slow it was. I'm like, Jesus wept. What the hell is this? I just didn't know what to even think of it, sort of thing. But I think it picked up at the end, and I think it was a good start for the show running from Disney Plus after that sort of thing. What do you think, Jason?
Well, I mean, like we've already covered it. Very, very slow start. I'm going to stuck with it to the end. Spoilers, Brandon, but it gets better. Obviously. I don't know. It just Wanda was there throughout all of the Infinite. Well, not all of the Infinite Saga, towards the end, and then all of a sudden, it's a season. It's got a very slow build up to a big end, and then obviously Doctor Strange 2. And although she's not obviously the main villain in a way through it, and then it's just ended. She's gone. She might not be dead. Who knows?
Well, we'll get that to you. Jumped about 10 films and thingies ahead there, but yeah, we'll get to there in the end now. But yeah, it weren't too bad now. It started off very slowly now, but it did get better, sort of thing. But then next one we had was one of my favourites. I always put this in my top 3, and was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I absolutely adored this. It might be because I'm just a big Captain America fan. It's probably that, but I thought this was brilliant. That lot again with. Like I say, I'm like the Marvel encyclopedia, you can call me. Because some of the things I noticed from comics and stuff like that, just going in. Now they've gone to this Disney Plus series, they can see so much and just put in so much detail, sort of thing. So what do you think?
For me, it was in the middle for me. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I thought it was a really interesting thing that they did with sort of assessing the world of the MCU after everybody came back. They did that a little bit with WandaVision, but not as much as obviously this one. People's sort of perception on the way of life. I thought it was Falcon's show. It was there, but I think it heavily relied on that chemistry that Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan have, both in the movies and in real life. I definitely think it was a Falcon-driven show. Obviously, we didn't know that Captain America 4 was coming. So obviously they plan everything. So I'm guessing they knew what they were doing with that. They're not idiots. But Baron Zemo was good. I mean, John Walker played his part really well. I think everybody was like, I hate him. Yeah, but that's the whole point. So I think he played his role pretty well. But I prefer WandaVision in terms of the way that every episode ended on a really great cliffhanger, and it got you more excited. I think with this one, it was more of a sort of a dragged out story. I didn't feel as anticipated for the next episode as I did with WandaVision.
Guys?
I mean, got a good point. It was obviously because majority of the way, Falcon isn't actually Captain America. He's just Falcon trying to get Captain America's shield back. But then again, obviously, Captain America is more of what you stand for than it is a person, which is why it's called Falcon. But it's just the story dragged, but the pace of, I suppose, a bit of action and like plots just continually going probably carried it a bit more so than the story. And obviously, depending on what you're a fan of the most, like for you being Captain America, probably depend on how heavily you're gonna like it, really.
Oh, massively. Brandon?
I haven't watched it.
No, that's all right. I say
I've got a question. I've got two questions, if you don't mind. So, for example, like the first question maybe is obviously WandaVision we had 9 episodes. This one we had 6. Do you think that you really saw the difference between obviously 9 episodes? I mean, what was WandaVision like? Half an hour, 40 minutes. You've got a lot more time to really feel the story. Do you feel like it 9 episodes? It could have been a bit higher in other people's estimations, because I think a lot of people were like, it was all right. It just wasn't the best. Do you think it could have been higher with the 9 episodes?
I say, me personally, I thought it was fine. I really did. I didn't have no problems with it at all and that sort of thing. But so go on, Jason. What do you think?
Are we on about WandaVision or Falcon?
Well,
What did you say
Falcon.
about the 9 episodes?
Yeah, the episode lengths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't tell you how many episodes are in each. But I do feel like the WandaVision episodes, well, they at least felt longer. Because for me, it felt like it was moving along so slow. Each episode just felt longer in general compared to Falcon, which is a bit more fast-paced. So the episodes are going, well, it feels like they're going quicker.
It's like they had more action and more packed into it, sort of thing.
Yeah, it did.
I see. After that, again, another one in my top 3, but I'd put this second or third now, because obviously big Cap fan now, is Loki. Now, I weren't expecting, I didn't know what to expect out of this sort of thing. But the only big thing I took away from this is setting you up for the big bad at the end, which would be Kang the Conqueror and that lot. That was the only thing that I was like, damn. And the introduction of variants as well and stuff like that sort of thing. That's the 2 main points I got from Loki sort of thing. And then having them was like, oh damn, okay, that's not bad at all, that sort of thing. But I don't know, I'd still rate Falcon and Winter Soldier better, but it was good and that lot. And these first 3 were sort of like, actually, these series could be pretty damn good. What do you think? I'll take it to the room. Whoever wants to go first?
You quite out. I'll go. Loki, I think, probably one of the top ones there for me. Like, I feel like it did introduce a bit more than just, obviously, the variants in Kang. Obviously, they're being more or less their main biggest things. But obviously, variants being basically people just from different timelines, it literally was like the series to start up the whole multiverse thing that we've got now. Like, it just opened the doorway and left us on a really big cliffhanger for a long time.
Oh, massively.
So,
I think the perception of like the MCU, and this is not, obviously, I know it's not a general chat about the MCU, is that like in the Infinity Saga, you almost feel like the Avengers movies is where things are going to happen. and they're the big films and stuff like that. But what's so great about the MCU is that every single project either is a celebration and done brilliantly, or it actually impacts a lot moving forward. I think Loki was that show where I think it could have been any other show. It just decided to focus on that and really made it into a massive show where you feel like, it can go into Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. So it felt more expansive than probably more than just a Loki character assessment. WandaVision was a character assessment of Wanda. Falcon and Soldier was an assessment of where Falcon was after Endgame. Loki, I feel like, whilst it had some really great Loki moments and had some really fun moments with the variants, it still felt like that this show, later on down the line could have a massive impact with their film. Like Civil War. Like Civil War's what, 6 years old? 6 years old now?
Something like that, yeah.
We're still getting brought up in a Black Widow movie. So you sort of feel like that is a really big impactful film that could create so many stories, and that's what I really loved about it. If you look at it like that, it could really do something great. And that and WandaVision for me is really top tier MCU Disney Plus shows.
Brandon?
I was really excited for this one. Loki's probably like one of my favourite kind of. He's not like a villain, but he is at the same time, kind of thing. I still haven't watched it. Like most of the series ones. I've seen all the movies, just not any of the series things. But I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I'm definitely going to watch it at some point.
Hey, with you not watching, I see it's just general questions, but with you not watching many of the series, is that because you're more, what's the word? You're more invested in the films than the series?
No, not necessarily. It's just I've got so much stuff to watch. Like my Netflix list has got like 200 stuff on it.
Oh, right, okay.
It's too much.
So after that, to me, this is where it started to dip a bit. I was hoping for much more from this, but it just hit a brick wall, and I'm just like, okay, it was all right. Which is Black Widow. I've been looking forward to this film for ages, and then it was all right. It introduced some more characters, and again, Red Guardian. I loved Red Guardian that lot. I can't wait to see him in the Thunderbolts. But just it weren't. It was a letdown for me, massive letdown.
I'm going to go first because I'm hoping you watch this movie. So
yeah, go on, Brandon. Yeah,
go on.
No, I haven't watched it. I have wrote down on my notes all of the MCU films in order, and I have started watching them. I've finished Winter Soldier, not Winter Soldier, the first Avenger. I've watched that one, so I'm gonna watch them all in order.
This show is about 4 months too early, I think.
I see. That's fine. So you start from there, go through the timeline properly, and you'll be fine. Like, we'll get you on about 3 or 4 episodes down the line. You'll be all right. Don't worry.
Oh, good.
Go on, Jason.
Oh dear. Gone.
Black Widow.
That was it. Yeah, I completely agree with you. It didn't even just hit a brick wall. There was a solid cement wall behind that brick wall. I was so excited for it. Watched it once and I haven't watched it again. I would, but there's better MCU films to rewatch than Black Widow, I think.
Massively.
Yeah.
Oh, Kiren.
About 11 years too late. It should have been done in phase one. Like in 2009, they had no movies released in that whole year. They should have just put that. They should have just put that in there. Probably give an origin story and then link it into Iron Man 2. There we go. There we go. That would have been my pitch about 2009. But no, it tried to give her an origin story, give her a backstory, but then still make it link with the timeline between Civil War and Infinity War. I mean, on the anticipation of it going up, I thought, okay, I really like I really like spy movies. I'm a big Bond fan, so I thought that could really link into that. It did, but the weeks moving up to it, and when they were saying about her jacket, in Infinity War, you know, the jacket that she wears, and it's like, oh, you'll find out where she got that from. I'm like, that's not really what I want from it. Taskmaster, let's move on with that.
No,
Let's move on.
Taskmaster, I liked. It shouldn't have been. Well, I don't want to be sexist or anything
When
like
we
that,
watched that in the cinema, I saw a vein popping out your head when you saw that reveal. You were not pleased with that at all.
it was good, but how they tried to make it into a good girl and stuff like the end. That's what wound me up.
What was that the fact that it was a woman? Like, there was no. Why was the whole point about that? I think there was. There was parts about it I liked. I liked Florence Pugh. I thought she was really good. I thought Red Guardian was really good. I'm pleased to see them back in the Thunderbolts. In that show, there were parts of it that was really good. However, Jason said it perfectly. It hit a brick wall mainly because it just felt far too late. It should have been introduced in Phase 1. That could have done really, really well for that character.
Yeah, pretty much. The next one. Go on.
It like, in a way, it's kind of set up Hawkeye. Obviously,
Yeah,
I like that.
Coming into it, but when you then put it into perspective, the amount of time between two events is massive. Like, and then all of a sudden, like, her sister's dead that she hasn't seen in them like 11 years, and then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this guy." Like, because the film and the series are so close together, it made sense. But then when you think about the timeline in it, way too long.
exactly. It's when you look at it, because obviously you had the bird in it as well, recruiting Natasha's sister for the Thunderbolts and stuff like that sort of thing. Obviously, you see Red Guardian going to the Thunderbolts as well. I was just like, just why? There was nothing gripping you at the end. Like, oh, gotta see her and whatever next sort of thing. That lot. It weren't gripping me at all. That lot, and it's not one I'd go back to again. That lot. Next one. We'll go on.
I respectfully disagree. I respectfully disagree with that because I do generally think that that was the right character to bring in. So, for example, if
it was the right character to bring in, but trying to link it was just nothing.
But a lot of people were very positive about that. That was a lot of people's first compliment about it was her. If, for example, they decided to go another way and decided to recruit Rachel Weisz's character, the mum, you'd be like, well, what the whole point was that? Send her back to the, pig farm, and that would have been about it. But it picked a character that we know would really like, and a lot of people got.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was really, really good in Hawkeye as well, that relationship with Bishop. But I'll let you carry on.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next one, right? Brandon as well, right? What I'm going to do is when I do a series, I want you to know if you'll be intrigued to watch it or not. Because if you've not watched it in that lot, I'll let you see if you'll be intrigued to see it, and I'll try and hype it up because a lot of the series I like. Okay. The next one, which the only link that I can think of is the variants and going into probably Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, is What If, which is the next series I like. I liked it because I'm a massive, like I say, encyclopedia comics and stuff like that, and seeing like Marvel Zombies, seeing all the different like Captain Carter and stuff like that, I absolutely loved all that. They obviously could get away with a lot more because obviously it's cartoons and stuff like that sort of thing, so they get away with it. But I just absolutely fell in love with this and that lot. This WandaVision, Falcon the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If's my fourth out of this because it was just absolutely brilliant, that lot sort of thing. So Brandon, would you be like interested to see that series sort of thing?
I think I watched the first episode. I can't remember much from it. But yeah, I'd give it a watch.
Jason?
Wait, what? Which series are we on about again?
What If?
What If? Oh yeah, right. So I completely messed that series up and picked out the ones I liked the most.
Okay.
Instead of watching it in order because I thought it made no sense. Like, I didn't chronologically mean anything until I then watched like the second last episode.
Yeah.
Realised I could have watched it in order. But most of it it was all pretty good. Like the zombies one, that was a good one. But then obviously also the Doctor Strange one, obviously kind of hinted towards Doctor Strange 2 as well. So it was like we kind of got to look into everything that's going to happen without knowing it's going to happen.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
We more or less as well get first like solid like show with the Watcher in it.
Yeah.
Like you don't, I don't think we've seen him anywhere else. I've been like one scene.
You've had the Watchers that's been in the post-credit scene with Stan Lee.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing been in it saying this is a Watcher sort of thing. The only people that know, eh?
What post-credit scene was that?
That was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Well, the first one, because I'm sure he's in the second one as well. When they go through the time sort of thing, where they're doing
that's the second one. The first one's where he's on the balcony.
Yeah,
Stan Lee's been in both, but the Watcher's not been. The Watcher's have only been in one film, which is Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought he was in 2 as well.
Yeah, Stan Lee has, but the Watchers haven't.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think what Kiren's thinking of when they were jumping. I think there is a scene.
Yeah, when they were jumping.
Yeah, that's them.
Because it was like.
That's that one film. Yeah, that's it. Because he's there. They're in that film where they're jumping through and that lot, and then again at the end of the same film, where they're all walking off sort of thing, and he's like, guys, hang on a minute, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say? I'm the Encyclopedia Marvel. Didn't you start questioning me?
Yeah, well, sometimes you need to go back on your matches. You missed at least one Marvel question.
Well, that's the matches that like that. We don't talk about matches in this episode.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that's the only other place that the Watchers have been thinking, and I loved seeing the Watchers in that lot. I can't remember the actor's name that lot, but having him be the voice of the Watcher, was just brilliant that lot. He's brilliant in Westworld as well in that lot, but it was good. Yes, the next one, which picked up a bit for me.
Am I not? No, am I missing?
Yeah, sorry, I got Kiren. Yeah, sorry.
No, get right. The voice of the Watcher.
That's it.
Who's in that? Is in that fantastic film, Casino Royale. He's in that one as well. He's very good in that. Oh, Duane, seriously. No, I was massively wrong with this show. Like, I seriously thought, okay, it's a celebration of the Infinity Saga. It's obviously done incredible things and stuff like that, and obviously we're moving into sort of the new generation. So I generally did think that it was going to be a celebration, but my God, was I wrong. Few weaker episodes. It's sort of in the mix. I think the 4 Captain Marvel one I wasn't really interested in. The first episode with Captain Carter, she was good, but it was just sort of a retelling of First Avenger. I like when they made really big, sort of interesting changes. But no, like I said, really, really good. Like the animated style, really like the Watcher, and some really solid episodes. Marvel Zombies was really great. That was a really great one. And I'm intrigued to see what they do with the show, sort of coming up. So, yeah, I definitely think it was a really solid series, and had a really good. And we've got a season 2 coming, so I mean, the stories. I can imagine a lot of people having so many ideas about that, which could go for at least 4, 5, 6 series. Because
Kiren?
He's not just gone on me, is he?
No, he's just froze.
I thought it was just on my end.
No, you're right, Brandon. It's not just you, mate. We'll give a countdown.
No.
Oh. It's like he's like.
I'm there.
It's like a Cyberman.
He's like he's in like the mirror dimension of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
All around him. Can you even see us?
He's got right now, man. Right, I'm going to move on. No. We
Yeah, there are a lot of second chances right now.
Did it. Dum.
I think he's gone. May he rest in peace, and we move on.
Right, Shang-Chi. This is where again this movie picked up for me, and the one thing that really ticked me off, because you know how stickler I am for the comic books, is the 10 rings. I know it would have been stupid seeing some old bloke with literally 10 rings on his finger in like that sort of thing, but I liked it. I thought it was a nice change having it as the bands, and I thought it was brilliant. It really picked up. I was not expecting it to be so good, and it just out of the first six films and series that's come off, that was better than Black Widow all day long. Outlaw. So, Brandon,
I did watch it. I only watched it recently. Yeah, I loved it. It was really good.
what do you think about the story of that sort of thing? How Shang-Chi and I brought himself into the MCU. What do you think about him like that?
Yeah, it was all right. Trying to think what to say. Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's right. That's right. Jason, we're good to you because Kieran's like flickering or something.
Yeah. It was. I think it was like really good. Although when it came out, I wasn't in a rush to watch it.
Exactly.
It took me quite a while after. But then I watched it and I was like, why didn't I watch this sooner? Like,
Yeah.
But it was predictable, not in the sense of storyline, but there was some elements that you just knew were going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the whole way through, I was like, "There's going to be dragons there somewhere."
Yeah, you knew. You just knew. I know not to be.
And then it just happened. I was like, "No."
Yeah, so not to be like stereotypical and stuff like that, but you just knew
Yeah.
a martial
all
arts
that.
sort of film like that. There's going to be dragons. There's going to be monsters and stuff like that sort of thing. If you get me, sort of thing. I mean, it's not one. I said like Brandon. If I didn't have Disney Plus, I'd have waited ages to watch it because it wasn't one that I was like, I've got to see it now, sort of thing. But I wish I did because of how well it was. It really was good now. Like, it surprised me. It really did. It put my faith back into the Marvel films after Black Widow. Are you back? Are you stable?
I'm stable. I'm happy. Yeah.
Shang-Chi, what do you think?
Loved it. It was top tier baseball. Would definitely be my top 10 best MCU movies. It's the start was exhilarating. The start was exhilarating with so many great action sequences. I thought the middle did drag on, and I have overheard you guys saying about the ending. The ending was pretty predictive. But the Mandarin, I thought, was done perfectly. Really, really great actor that played him. I've seen a lot of his other movies, sort of Chinese sort of based film. But I really like that type of action and sort of stuff like that. It always is really great to watch on the big screen. So yeah, Shang-Chi is definitely one of the better movies, particularly in this phase.
Well, after that, it just plummeted back down to earth again. To be honest, after that, again, similar to Black Widow. To be honest, I don't want to spend much time on this one because it was atrocious. The only thing that I was looking forward from this is Black Knight and Blade, and that's the Eternals. The Eternals was just god awful. It really was not like I'm looking forward to Black Knight with Kit Harington. I think he can do that brilliantly, and hearing Blade at the end. Other than that, the rest of them I couldn't get two tosses about, to be honest. Brandon, you seen that one?
I have no idea what you're talking about, so probably not.
Good lad. You don't need to. Don't worry. You don't need to worry about that at all. It's atrocious.
Right. Okay.
Go on, Jason.
Not gonna lie. What film were you about?
Jason, Eternals.
Oh, Eternals. Yeah. No. Again, I went in a rush. Watched it once. Didn't watch it again.
Exactly.
No. I've said to you both before. If you forget it was a Marvel film, kind of alright.
Yeah.
But as soon as you then put in perspective, it's got to do with everything else in Marvel. You're like, what is this? Not only that, but just the story, the acting, in just everything. It all just. The only
Atrocious.
thing that was good in it, yeah, the only thing that was good in it were like the enemies, like when what's his name? The giant guy
Jesus
at the
Christ.
end.
This Celestial.
Celestial, that's it. When
See,
he's
it's that
like,
bad you can't even remember being ending. That's what I mean. It's oh.
yeah. I can remember, like, literally, the only good parts about it was the whole that coming out the earth and the scale, and the like just the enemies throughout it and stuff that they were fighting against. That was alright, but everything else was just terrible.
Exactly. Go on, Kiren.
I got the poster only because it looks quite good on my wall with the blue and the gold. There you go. It's right in the corner, but it was difficult. Do you know what? It was really. I'm going to try and be as positive as possible. I think it looked great. Like the visuals were fantastic and stuff like that. I know a lot of people have said about the Marvel like CGI and stuff like that. It did look, what it was aiming to be. It wasn't aiming to be sort of a smaller movie. It was very large and expansive. And that's really hard to sort of, make all of these characters be quite likable. And it's like the God. And I always try and compare this movie to Guardians of the Galaxy, not in the same sense of what I thought about it. It was just the fact that it was a team of heroes. But what they did so well in that was they staggered their introduction. You had still Star-Lord first, then you had Gamora, and then obviously Groot and Rocket were sort of together anyway, so you had to introduce them together. But then later on in the film, Drax came into it. This one, they just took them all in at once, straight away. You might be in the cinema going like, "Oh, I didn't really like the character that could mind control." You know what I mean? Which I did, by the way. He was fantastic. He was the best part of the whole movie. But you know what I mean? Like you can't remember the name because they introduced him so quickly. I thought the leader of it wasn't much of a leader. It was just a bit like, oh, she's the leader and the most powerful. No, she wasn't even in the movie that much. So, yeah, really, really sort of poor. But when I watched the trailer, I thought there's something off about this. It doesn't seem to grab my interest as quickly as possibly the other Marvel movies did. And like I said, I mean, it's quite frustrating. And I'm just going to use your point, Duane. It's quite frustrating that your probably most positive moment about it happened right to the end. So did you need to watch it or just watch the scene? That
Can I just be the bearer of bad news and interrupt this podcast?
Well, go on.
So this is for another fandom away from Marvel, but Robbie Coltrane. Yeah,
I know. I've seen it. I know. I'm gutted. I couldn't believe it. I know. And you seen it, Kiren?
no.
He's died. Bless him.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was gutted when I seen that. 72, bless him. I couldn't believe it.
Well, just to say, I was obviously as a representative of the channel, like the thoughts and prayers are with his family and all of his friends, close friends. What a great actor! Obviously, Hagrid was in the Bond movies as well. He played a really good part in the Bond movies and did so many incredible films. So yeah, our thoughts are with his family from all of us big fans.
Yeah. Right, the next one, which again picked up again with the series that lot, which I really enjoyed. I love the musical. I'd love to go and see this musical all day long. Was Hawkeye, and I thought this around Christmas as well, tied in with so many little things. If you're clever enough and precise enough, you can see the same ice rink that obviously Spider-Man swung over at the end of his film as well, sort of thing. It was just so nice that lot, and I really enjoyed this that lot, and this is one of them series that I go back and watch, sort of thing. Because I really did enjoy this that lot. So, Kiren?
Yeah, really. Together originality. Hawkeye was sort of bound to have that family, his family sort of explored because I thought that was a really nice sort of human touch to a character that's basically he's got a bow and arrow. You know, that's a common joke, I know, but you know, having that story I thought was right. Few issues with it, you know, but they were very minor. I like the chemistry between Kate Bishop and Yelena. I think at the time everybody was saying about Young Avengers, and I thought that sort of chemistry could have really worked in there.
That'll still happen. I'll tell you that now. That'll still happen.
I think they were trying to test that out. I think they were trying to test that out and possibly made that as intriguing as possible, in which they did. Kingpin, I thought came in really, really well, but was it too late? I think he could have had a bit more, mainly because I really like that character. Wasn't a fan of Echo. But I know that's probably a bit of an unpopular opinion. She just sort of got in the way. I think sometimes she sort of was in the way about that main story. But yeah, it's definitely, like I said, middle of the pack, but still a really, really great show. Can't really be any negative about it.
Kiren, not Kiren, Jason, sorry.
No, I think Hawkeye's probably my number one show so far. I mean, mainly just because I don't know, Hawkeye as a character I find probably cooler than the others. This guy don't even need powers to be a superhero, you know. But I don't know, Kiren said about Echo and Kingpin. I feel like if she was to have her own separate thing, it would have been better. Probably had a better fan base behind it. But instead, she was there just as a stepping stone to Kingpin.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, massively. Is Brandon still here?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Have you seen Hawkeye?
No, I haven't. There's so much that I haven't seen.
But
I didn't even realise.
Is with Hawkeye though? Is that again something you'd be interested to see?
Yeah, it's on my list. All of them are on my list.
That's all right, bless you. That's all right. So next one, which this peaked out for me because this was just brilliant. I absolutely bawled like a little girl in the cinema. I did to this because I was just, my heartstrings were being pulled left, right, and centre. And this is Spider-Man: No Way Home. Seeing all them three together, I was a mess. I was an absolute mess. And even when I go back and watch them now, and I can feel them welling up in my eyes now, I could literally just go back and roar my eyes out. Aunt May going, just seeing them all there, talking to him, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Sandman, honestly, absolute. This was yes, thank God for this, because this was perfect. I was never a big fan of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but seeing him interact with all these Jesus wept. I bawling like a baby. Jason?
I think everything, literally everything released after Endgame, best film. 110%. The best film. I mean, yeah, the film just kind of rode a wave of nostalgia the whole way through. And that's the only reason it did so well. If it didn't have, if they were played by, I don't know, a variant of them, so it wasn't the same actor playing them, or it was slightly different villains or anything like that, or we didn't have all three Spider-Men in it, it wouldn't have that nostalgia wave and probably wouldn't have done as well. But for probably all here, people that are such a huge Spider-Man fan, and obviously grew up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and then obviously got Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. But everything in it, it all just worked. There wasn't one bit, and obviously we had the leaks of all three of them being in it, but it was choosing not to believe it, so you didn't want to let your hopes just get crushed. And they all come out, and literally, like you said, every time I watch it again, my hairs on my arm just stand up, and it's the same feeling all over again.
Like I said, when I seen this in the cinema, I was just gone. absolutely gone now. Just seeing him come through now, I was like, oh, because we watched it, didn't we? We watched it at 10 o'clock in the morning, Showcase Cinema Deluxe. I was absolutely bawling my eyes out now. Like, I had you two next to him. I tried not to, because I was like, yeah, big man, don't cry. But having you two next to me, I couldn't. I was gone. I was like pigging baby. I was shouting at that screen and everything. God, yeah! Honestly, don't.
I mean,
So
being there, like the first showing,
I know.
it was like, I mean, I know, like later on when people start going, like later on in the evening and within the next few days, there's loads of people wearing like Spider-Man costumes and everything.
Like I said,
But they're the people jumping on the hype. Like when we went, there were probably 2 or 3 people wearing Spider-Man costume, but when there was probably like just under half the cinema.
Yeah.
People. And when all 3 of them come out, the whole cinema.
Yeah, yeah.
It was amazing.
I say I was sad enough because I had to, because I was so glad I went to see it again with my little girl and that lot afterwards, and having that cinema so packed, and it just erupted. I've never been in. The only time I've been in a cinema like that is for Endgame and stuff like that, where it says Avengers Assemble and stuff like that. That's the only time I've been in a cinema where it's erupted that bad, and seeing my little girl's face, she only knows Tobey Maguire, but then seeing all 3 of us like, oh, what's this? It's just absolutely brilliant. Like, I was gone, absolutely gone. That lot. I was just, yeah, this is me. I can die happy now. I'm done. I got Kiren because I'm gonna start crying again in a minute.
Oh yeah, I did on the first episode. No, it's there's so many thoughts about this. But one thing that really, I watched it a day later, and you know, on an iPhone when you have like the report about how much you've spent on your phone and like a certain app, mine was down for about like 60%. I just wouldn't go on my phone. Seriously, I said people just don't message me at all. But no, like you said, there was a young lad. This was the point where I just go, wow, people care about cinema, like, and care about movies, obviously after the pandemic and stuff like that. It warms your heart when you see people. There was a young lad dressed in a really great Spider-Man suit, and all the scenes with Tom Holland didn't really. Any time with a Spider-Man suit, he jumped up, and he was only young. Just jumped up, he was clapping, he was cheering. But to the point where there was nobody in that cinema would go shh, because it was a packed cinema. As well, you understood what was happening, and I just sat there and I didn't talk about the whole thing. I didn't even look away. Nobody went toilet. It was that special. In terms of the particular movie, it is in the top 5 for me. It is one of the best movies because it gives you the comic book feel. It's a celebration of comic books and the whole concept and the whole idea. Top tier, and allowed so many people to probably have a little bit more faith in the MCU and this whole multiverse. Because a lot of people were saying, well, the sky's the limit now. They really made that fantastic. Doctor Strange pushed out. I like that bit to really focus on Spider-Man. The Aunt May death was crushing. Green Goblin. I mean, that confirmed that he is probably top 5, I would say, best comic book villains of all time. There's been some great ones, but he's got to be up there, and he proved it without one actual Willem Dafoe.
Brandon, have you seen it?
I have, yes. Jason got me to watch it.
What do you think about it? Because did it hit you as hard as all his lot?
I absolutely loved it. Yeah, like you said, sky's the limit now. They can basically do literally anything.
Yeah, pretty much. Who was your favourite Spider-Man? Because I say mine was always Tom Holland, but seeing all 3 of them interact was just. What do you think when they interacted?
My favourite's always been the original.
Okay.
I do like Tom. I do like the other 2 though a lot. And all 3 of them together was amazing.
Tell me about it. Oh, so good. I know. Brandon's seen this one because I love this one as well. Now, like I love this one as well because it was.
Sorry to pick up. The one thing that Spider-Man No Way Home did, I think it redeemed Andrew Garfield. That scene with Zendaya.
Oh, yeah.
And that whole thing, seeing him emotional, that redeemed him for me. He wasn't. A lot of people really don't like him, in that character, in that role, and obviously don't like his movies. It redeemed it. Maguire didn't need to be redeemed in it at all because he was so beloved. But going into it, I didn't really think Garfield was going to have a big prominent bit. I think it really redeemed it. I think they did a really, really great job with that.
Oh, massively. So I couldn't stand Andrew Garfield. I couldn't stand Andrew Garfield. I could sling him to the side in that lot. I didn't watch any of his Spider-Man films because he just... What was the point? They ruined Lizard, and the Green Goblin they had in that was just atrocious. I was like, no, you're all right. The best thing they did in Andrew Garfield was kill Gwen Stacy, and how they killed Gwen Stacy. That was the best. That was the best, honestly. To the comics, I am ruthless in that lot. 'Cause to the comics, they did that fantastically in that lot. But the rest of it, yeah, you can do on some.
Yeah, but don't you think that's not, like you say, no way home redeemed Andrew Garfield, but do you not think that it wasn't him that needed redeeming? It was his film.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
It was a right actor, wrong script.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but that's the issue sometimes with certain like moviegoers is that people like slate performances, but they do with what they do with what they work with. What I mean by that is I just think going into it, I think it redeemed a lot of potential people and made. I mean, I saw a deleted scene of him on the phone. I can't. Did anybody see that? Where his world looks really dark. It's raining. He's on the phone, and he just looks so tortured. He looks like he's struggling with his health. And I was really surprised that scene was cut because I just thought, including that and the saving Zendaya sort of moment, I thought that was too.
everyone's gone for me, Duane.
I'm still here. I promise you that lot. Kiren went a bit funny then that lot, but
Yeah, Kiren's gone. I can see you, Duane. I can hear Brandon. There's not even Brandon's thing yet. It's like we're on FaceTime. There is Brandon's voice
that's fine.
coming in like a dead.
Hey, as long as Brandon's there talking, that's fine by me in that lot. Oh, hang on. Kieran's being a Cyberman again.
I'm there.
There you are. All right. Anyway, yeah. The next one, I know. Definitely Brandon's seen this one now because I love this as well. Now this is going back to my childhood days of seeing this lot. Is Moon Knight or anything Egyptian stuff? I absolutely love that lot. I tell you, when I was a kid, I had like little statues of all the scarabs and the gods and everything. I loved this. How the split personalities, having all three like that sort of thing. Oh, it was just done so well. The actor that plays Moon Knight was just fantastic. Again, this is one of them top series that I was like, damn, I really like this sort of thing. This was really good in that lot. Brandon, let's jump to you because I know you've seen this one.
I have seen this one, yeah. To begin with, the split personality thing really confused me. I don't know why.
Okay.
I just somehow couldn't grasp what was going on.
Okay.
Jason explained it to me, and I somewhat get it now. I haven't always been into like Egyptian stuff, but no, I think it's really good. Probably one of the best series I've watched, even though it's probably the only one I've watched.
Bless you.
But yeah.
Go on, Jason. I know you're a fan of this one.
I mean, like you said, I'm a big fan of Egyptian stuff as well. Like, I still watch like there's all the like Egyptian treasure hunting and whatever on Disney Plus now, watching all that stuff.
National
But,
Geographic, where they're digging up the tombs and stuff like that as well and everything.
But like, I mean, I liked it that much that I don't even play Fortnite much. Every now and again, I even got V-Bucks to get Moon Knight's character.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. He's like a character. I'll put some like demon wings on him. But no, yeah, everything about it. I mean, when it was Mark as Moon Knight, it was almost like a mummified Assassin's Creed kind of vibe.
I didn't get that, but yeah, I could tell that. I didn't get that.
It's, I don't know, it's like I definitely liked Mark's version over Stephen's, but again, I think that's just because it's kind of Assassin's Creed and kind of give me that. But like,
Hey!
it,
Oh, you still going? Yeah.
like, I mean, everything through it, like, if you think about it, really, it had like two storylines going at once, and they made them make sense in the end.
Massively,
And it
massively.
all came to one thing. And we didn't like. It seemed like we were just gonna see him as a mercenary, just kind of going back and forth. Next thing you know, we've got all the gods in it, and like they're literally in the afterlife trying to find the way back. And then turns out obviously there's the third one, and all of it, which made no sense, made sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
There was so much going off, but you didn't get lost. You was like, okay,
Mm.
bang, 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 Christ, and go on, Kiren.
yeah.
Yeah, really big sort of big fan of this when it was announced. I mean, you know, a lot of people forget that this was the first MCU show that was a completely new character. Like we hadn't seen anything from it. So it had that job of tackling an origin story and obviously making it link. I thought it was fantastic. The Egyptian mythology is something I'm very interested in. So when he even said them two words, I was like, this is brilliant in a series of films and shows I love so much. I think what they did really well with Mark and Stephen was that you could really see their two personalities. You know, Stephen Graham was sort of the comedic one, which I thought was really funny and really great. You know, Mark was sort of the badass and ruthless one. So it didn't seem to overlap. They seemed to be two very different people. And I thought it was fantastic. And it was one of them shows which, looking back at it now, I wish it was 9 episodes.
Yeah,
It could have done so many fantastic things. I really, really enjoyed it that much. Probably the best moment was when at the end when he cuts him off and Conchu, is that how you say his name?
yeah, Conchu,
When he,
yeah.
like Stephen goes, just off, and he just goes, "I wasn't talking to you.
Hmm.
Like, I don't want to talk to you." So, I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a really funny moment. But no, fantastic, really, really great show.
So the next one we go on to is, again, it was good, but they could have just done just a bit more. Just a bit more on that lot. It was Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness. I loved it. Bringing Charles Xavier. They shouldn't have announced him. They should have had him as a surprise. Like they had Mr. Fantastic as a surprise. If they did that, it would have been fine, sort of thing. So they shouldn't have showed Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. They shouldn't have done it at all in that lot. But having Wanda break down and losing a kid and just seeing it deteriorate, that lot sort of thing, I thought was brilliant, that lot sort of thing. And it shows you, I'm hoping, that it's getting on to that bit where she'll start saying, or no more mutants, or no more Avengers and stuff like that sort of thing. Because she will get to that point, that lot. And she sort of snapped and then tried to redeem herself. But I think she's getting to that point where she's going to come back. It's obvious she's going to come back, that lot. But it was good. It really was good in that lot. But they just showed too much, but could have done a bit more for me. Brandon, have you seen this one?
I have, yes. I really liked it. Again, literally anything to do with the multiverse, I'm probably gonna like.
What was your reaction when you seen the variants, like Mr. Fantastic and Captain Carter and stuff?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to think about that. They were a bit what's the word? Underwhelming. They kind of just died.
Yeah. That's what I mean. They could have just done a bit more, sort of thing. I know you're gonna have to kill them off eventually, but why that quick?
Yeah.
Jason.
Right. I'm gonna give my point. But I'm gonna have to cut it short because I gotta do some stuff. But I feel like Wanda's story, like her, it was almost like Doctor Strange 2 wasn't. It was more Wanda's film that carried on from her series, like, and then there was just Doctor Strange, just had a little cameo in it, and everyone else. And then obviously they announced this whole Illuminati and everyone in it, and like Brand said, underwhelming. It was just like straight away, like you literally watch the trailer, and everything you see in the trailer is what you see in the film. Like there was no when they were making No Way Home and everything like that, there was like people trying to get spoilers out left, right, and centre. Doctor Strange 2 was like dry. You had like the occasional tumbleweed just drift by, like, and that was it. But I don't know, for Wanda, they were great. Like everything else it just kind of fell apart for. It seemed like it was going to be this next Avengers phase film, and it just fell very hard.
What I'll do then, Kiren, I'll get your last point, and then I'll leave it here, sort of thing, and we'll cut it short. And we could do another one eventually. Doing the last points, not a lot. But if you and Jason and Brandon, you want to come back again, and we'll carry on with this another time, you're more than welcome to. If that's all right with you two.
Yeah, clickbait it as part 1.
Yeah, I'll take the part 1. Yeah, Brandon, is that all right with you, mate? Brilliant, lovely job. Go on, Kiren, let's say your last point, then, mate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm going to sort of say this now, and this is probably a good way to sum it up. It is my 3rd best movie of the year. However, it's probably my most disappointing movie of the year, mainly because it was put on the pedestal straight away. There was all these talk about how you need to watch, What If, Loki, WandaVision, Spider-Man, all of these things to get ready for it. And it wasn't for me. It wasn't as highly anticipated and really delivered on the final product. Like Duane said, they released far too much. I was surprised by that because in Spider-Man, it got people guessing, but they almost sort of said, we're not going to reveal that. I thought they would really learn their lesson from that, because I did really think that could have been a really, really big moment, a bit more of a sort of a shocking moment, I should say, than it ever did. Wanda was good. Wanda was. I mean, I liked the horror element as well. But that sort of it didn't it wasn't over exaggerated, but it was there, and it was nice little hints. So yeah, I mean, the main thing I have wrong with it is they said it was going to be the multiverse. It only went to three sort of universes. If that runtime, they really could have gone on to different planets. They could have made this film crammed full of really, really incredible cameos, really great, amazing stuff. And to me, I don't think they did that. But no, like I said, really great movie, fantastic movie. Definitely not one of the worst. Like I said, really up there on my list this year. But then it's disappointing because it could have been much better.
Exactly. Well, I'll leave it there for part 1 then. We'll clickbait that for a bit. And from myself, the captain, from Kiren, the Grandmaster, from Red Blood Jason, and the I can't think what his now again. Jason one and
Brandy Butter.
Brandy Butter, that's it. From Brandy Butter. And we'll call it a day. So thank you very much.